I felt a sudden chill that changed my life forever. Cold. Birthday, December 2nd, 2016. I was driving home from work. I felt a sudden chill that changed my life forever. Cold. That was the very first symptom. I walked into my parents' house to pick up the kids, shivering to the point that my lips quivered. My mother suggested I take a nap to sleep it off. So I went upstairs and I covered myself with every blanket I could find, but I only felt worse. My mother was worried, so I agreed to go to the hospital. Just let me go to the bathroom first, I said. When I was done, I went to stand up and I couldn't. My legs felt completely numb. Terrified, I screamed to my mother for help. I remember scooting myself down the stairs because I knew if I tried to walk, I would fall. When we got to the hospital, I remember feeling so happy that they got me a stretcher to lay in. With my fever raging, they gave me medicine to bring it down and get some relief from the pain and nausea. One of the nurses gave me a plastic bag, but nothing stopped me from throwing up while my fever continued to climb. They decided to run some tests. While doing the x-ray, I remember my mother and 2 other people just trying to hold me up. The CAT scan revealed that my entire body was inflamed, along with my organs. I still remember the look on the doctor's faces, confusion. My sister was beside me, down looking, and she suddenly called out to the doctor, asking why I had spots on my face. But they couldn't figure out why. My blood pressure was dropping dangerously low. The doctors decided I had to be admitted and settled me into what would be my new home for the next 2 weeks, the intensive care unit. I remember just laying there with the oxygen mask on, while everyone was around me was talking, something unspoken in the air, as thick as the air that I had trouble breathing. I barely heard the talking around me, and I stared at the clock. It was standing still. The nurse walked in and suggested I get some rest. Everyone agreed and started to walk out of the room. I panicked. I didn't want to alarm everyone, but I was exhausted and having so much trouble catching my breath. The nurse was called, and intubation was the only thing that could save my collapsing lung. I had an endless stream of antibiotics being pumped into my bloodstream to fight the infection that was taking over my body. Those spots on my face, they were getting worse. My platelets dropped so low I began bleeding through my skin. I was weighing 30 pounds over what I did when I came in. My body was retaining liquid, which meant my kidneys were failing. My eyes and face were turning fluorescent yellow, signifying that my liver was shutting down as well. That's when they decided to start me on dialysis. I remember going to sleep and waking up to the sound of the vroom, 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 and loud beeps it made when the blood wasn't flowing properly, and the chill that ran through me every single time. It hit me days, and they finally figured out what was causing all the damage. It was strep pneumonia, and because I didn't have a spleen, the bacteria went rampant, triggering my body into septic shock. But all they could do was treat the infection and hope that eventually my organs would start to function again. I can't forget my husband's face as he was leaning over me, telling me how much he loved me, and that God spoke to him and told him that I wasn't going to die. I couldn't respond because of the tubes and the machines fighting to keep me alive. At the moment, despite my usual pessimistic self and overwhelming odds against me, I had an overpowering certainty that everything was going to be okay. I was in complete peace and ease. I thank God so much for that. The peace washed over me, filled me with hope, and slowly I started to recover. They even took me off of life support. I still had to use the oxygen mask, but it was a lot easier to breathe. Eventually, I was moved to another unit. Still, every other day, I had to receive dialysis. Thank you. But little by little, I was getting stronger. I celebrated Christmas, New Year's, and my son Caleb's birthday in my hospital room. Kaylee used to call it my apartment. Because I was bedridden for so long, I was like a baby again. I had to relearn how to walk. Even feeding myself was a struggle. During this time, the days and nights seemed excruciatingly long. All I could think of was how much I was missing with my kids. My youngest, Killian, who was only 6 months at the time. Every organ kicked back in except for my kidneys, so dialysis continued. As the days passed, the doctors grew less hopeful that my kidneys would make a full recovery. They told me it could be years before they could ever completely recover, if ever. The next day, I woke up with a pain in my neck. As the day went on, the pain got worse. A sonogram was ordered. When the doctor came in with the results, I knew it was bad news by the look on his face. After making so much progress, they found a blood clot in my neck that was potentially life-threatening. They fought to dissolve it, but this only meant more time in the hospital with no release date in sight. I couldn't stop crying. I felt so defeated. Knowing how I was feeling, Sheena decided to bring our old pastor to visit and pray for me. While praying, he told me I had to keep faith in God and that he was going to bring me out completely healthy. He asked me if I wanted to know when. Of course, I said. He said soon, and it'll be on a Wednesday. My spirit was lifted. A week later, the doctor came in with the best news ever. Even though my kidneys was 100%, they were finally stable enough for me to go home. I could hardly contain myself. After all the cancellations, rescheduling, I was released from the hospital January 18, 2017, a Wednesday. I walked out of the hospital with no tubes, no dialysis, and no blood clots. 258,000 people contract sepsis each year. Of them, 72 of them who go into septic shock die. Within the survivors, loss of limbs, tissue damage is experienced. Looking back at how my blackened skin and hands and face was, it was only through the grace of God that I'm speaking to you all now in whole, more than just physically. After weeks of dreaming about the moment, I got to live it. I got to go home to my family. A couple days later, as I laid down with my daughter, she hugs me and says, "I'm so happy you're not sick anymore at night. You can stay with us forever." The Lord is my strength and song. He has given me victory. This is my God, and I will praise him, and I will honor him. Feel you on my fingertips. My tongue dances behind my lips for you. There's fire rising through my being, burning. I'm not used to seeing you. And I'm alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. And I can feel you all around me, circling the air I'm breathing, holding on to what I'm feeling, savoring this heart that's healing. My hands float up above me, and you whispered you love me, and I begin to fade unto a secret